little bit more about the spider. You know, they're not a small spider. I mean, actually, an adult brown recluse, the size are a little bit bigger than a quarter with their outstretched legs. And the legs are brown or tan, and are thin, and they're kind of wispy. Now these things can live 2 to 4 years, and the ones that actually do most of the damage on biting somebody are the males and the immature juvenile brown recluse, because they get out and check their territory out. They run around on the floor. You know, they're hunting. Female brown recluse will usually stay in an area where she's at. And they have no webbing. They don't have a spider web. It's not like you see other spiders that have webbing, and you get the webbing in your face or in your hair when you walk across something. They only make a limited amount of webbing to hold the egg sac, and she stays in that area with it. So she doesn't really go out of her range. And a female will have 5 egg sacs about the size of a nickel. She'll have 50 eggs in it, up to 50 eggs. But the males and immature will travel across the house, down from the attic into your lower regions, or down in the basement up. I mean, or outside they travel. So they're on the look for bugs. The venom actually is decomposing the tissue.
Okay.
And so their fangs will be like soda straws. They don't also just go for a live host. If you've smashed a grasshopper or you've killed a bug and it's laying on the floor, they will readily take another dead insect and feast upon it. Now, here's a trick that you can do. You can take glue traps side by side. If you'll put that in the corner, they run along the baseboard, so you can tell if you've got brown recluse spiders. Now, it's not designed to trap the spider. It's just a way of seeing if you have an active population.
Right.
And if you've got 25, 30 spiders in a trap at night, or in those 2 traps, you have a major infestation. Or that you start seeing, it looks like a dime size or smaller, and the legs are kind of sticking out. That's usually a sign of the immature little ones. Now they molt up to 12 times.
Wow.
So when they hatch out of the egg and they become a little spiderling, there's 12 life instars, we call that, and so the spider grows 12 times, sheds its body out of its shell like a crab, or like shrimp in the ocean. Let me say they're a clean insect, bug, whatever term you want to use here. It means they don't lick themselves. They're not licking their fur. They're not licking their leg. And so when you put out insecticides, you have to have a spray of insecticide right on the spider. You have to have the Raid can and right on it.
Oh, that's what I would do.
So if you just spray it along the edge up here of this, if they're running here, and you spray and it dries, that spider never gets any of that poison transferred to its body. And even on the tips of its needle-like legs, it's not picking it up and licking them. So there's no transfer of insecticide in that spider's ingestion. So you have to have powders or something a little more that's there. Hot. The heat doesn't dry them out. They can actually be for months without a drink of water and in heat environments, and they will live.
Fantastic.
So the heat won't kill them. And the cold weather does not affect them. They go into a state of hibernation.
Oh, they can almost live in any environment.
In any environment that's created.
Wow.
Now, an outside trash pile, leaves piled up, a bunch of garbage, old wood, just general stuff that we pile up in our backyards becomes a nesting and a breeding site and a holding facility for these spiders.
Gross.
So this is David in the garden at the Western Heritage Museum with Aaron Anderson, and we're having a fun time talking about the brown recluse spiders.